Hello everyone, welcome to week 9. All right, we have another busy week ahead of us. So let's look right here at week 9. I already have included a reminder or kind of a shortcut to the overview of this project that we are working on. So we are in the middle of this research for an explanatory synthesis essay. Now this research we are going to be organizing first into an annotated bibliography that's going to be due at the end of next week. And this annotated bibliography, and there's some examples here on the page, but this annotated bibliography is a method or a genre where researchers organize the sources that they are going to be using in their work, the sources that they have studied, where they have learned things, where they have, found information concerning a topic that they have chosen. And they write that all out in an annotated bibliography. And this annotated bibliography is to include 6 to 8 sources where authors and experts and researchers have written on the topic that we have chosen. So they all need to be focused on the topic and looking at it the same way that we are going to be looking at our topics. And 2 of these must be peer-reviewed articles, all right? So again, read over these instructions carefully so that you can wrap your mind around what we are doing. But like I said, we are focusing on that annotated bibliography this week. So if we go back here, the end of week 8, everyone was to turn in this worksheet on possible research topics and a final topic selection. So I know that was quick, but students are all to have their topic picked by the time they get into week 9 so that they can focus on that topic. And if you look here, there's not a whole lot to do this week, but understand that besides these activities, which are incredibly helpful, but besides these activities, you need to be diving into that, McKay online library, and even some of the internet could be useful also, but you're going to be looking for those sources. If you go back here to week 8, I have added a lot of tutorials, a lot of helps on how to find good, credible sources that are at the caliber expected in college research. I've even created right here a video of me walking through and navigating the online McKay library. And I know it's kind of painful to watch, but I think that would be really helpful for you because I share some of my favorite databases and search engines, and I think some of the databases that students like to use. So look at that. Let me know if you need help finding sources. I'm more than happy to help you. But let's get into this week's activities because they really will be helpful. So the first thing we have 2 things due on Wednesday. The first thing is going to be kind of an examination of 2 examples of annotated bibliographies. And if one is on planned obsolescence in technology, and the next one is on deep fakes. And so if you click on these and open them, it will show you exactly what is going to be expected in these annotated bibliographies. They will open up with a statement of scope. That's simply an introduction to the topic. And then you will have the list of sources. You'll start off with the citation, and then a summary and an evaluation, and the use. And the second one, you'll go to the second citation, summary, evaluation, and use. All right, this is very formulaic, very formulaic. So there's 2 examples of those. And what you're going to do is you are going to download this worksheet, and this worksheet is just inviting you to look at those examples closely. What were they about? Look at the statement of scope, and answer these questions. Okay, and you're kind of just examining them closely so that you can basically model your own work after these. And then you're going to write a few sentences on how you can do that. All right, so that's going to be really helpful. Look at the rubric, look at what I'm going to be looking for, but let me know if you have any questions. That's a really helpful activity. This is a great quiz, or it offers great resources before it asks you to take the quiz, but it's all about paraphrasing and summary. If you go back to those examples of the annotated bibliography, you will notice that there are no quotes. In writing this genre, writers paraphrase and they summarize the articles. They don't just copy and paste quotes. That's an important characteristic, okay? So paraphrasing is simply putting the content in your own words. Summarizing, very basically, is telling your reader what the author wrote. So you're referencing the author over and over. You know, Lopez wrote this, then they wrote this, then they said this, then they made this claim. Okay? So read over these and then take the quiz. And I also, on the next page, I've added a page that contains a couple videos that I think are really helpful explaining what summary and paraphrasing is. So remember, watch those, look at the sources, and take those quizzes, because like I said, these annotated bibliographies should not contain any quotes. It should all be written in your original words, in your paraphrasing and summarizing of the articles. Then, let's see, due towards the end of the week, if this will let me go forward, there we go. We have an assignment on writing APA reference elements. That means citations, all right? And there's some good activities here to let you know, or some good handouts on what citations include, what kind of information citations include. There's that one, and then there is an APA reference guide. APA formatting, this is really important in research because your reader should be able to look at your citations and see all of the information they need to have in order to find those sources and know exactly what kind of sources they are. So there's this worksheet that we are going to fill out. And basically what it is, it's kind of deconstructing the citation, asking you to fill in the boxes, each little bit of the citation. So this one is going to be, you know, the author's name. And then you're going to bring up the dates. And these are going to be for 2 sources that you have found for your project. And then you're going to add the titles and then the types of sources. And pretty soon, and these are lots of examples and some tips. And towards the end, once you have that all gathered, you'll put it together and you'll have your own reference citations for 2 of your articles, 2 of your sources. And here at the bottom, there's a lot of examples. And so if you have a journal article, there's an example that you can model yours after. If you have a book chapter or a report or a web page, these are examples. Okay, so this is just a great worksheet to help you understand what is required in those full reference citations. Okay, fill that out. I think there's only one other thing that we're doing this week, and this is kind of tricky, but it's good. We are going to be reading at least two research articles, peer-reviewed research articles. And honestly, those are dense. They are hard to read. They're complicated because they are written for other researchers. They're not written for the average student. They are written for an audience of other researchers who know the jargon, who know the basics of what they're talking about. And so it takes time to understand them, and it takes time to summarize them. And this contains some activities that will help you do that. And this first overview, it includes one of my favorite talks by Elder Uchtdorf, where he references a study of children and eating marshmallows. And this is actually, he based it on an actual research study that was written and published in a peer-reviewed journal. And so this offers an acronym on the method of reading and summarizing these kind of dense articles. Read that over, and you can see an example right down here of how Elder Uchtdorf, though he does it a little different because it's in a talk rather than, an annotated bibliography or an essay, it shows you how he breaks that down. Okay, that's a good example. And then what you're going to do is you're going to download this worksheet. And you are going to, there's a part A and part 1 and a part 2. Let me get back here and I'll kind of, oh, sorry, I jumped too far back. And you're going to take this article. There we go. This is the actual peer-reviewed article. And you can see it opens with an abstract. That's kind of an introduction or an overview of the article. And then it has the findings of this research, and it's quite dense. You're going to read this, and in that worksheet, let me go back here, you are going to break it down. Use this acronym, introductions, methods, results, analysis, and discussion, and you're going to use that method to write a little summary about it. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to look at these other sources right down here where other scholars actually summarize this same research article, and you're going to compare yours. So do yours first. No cheating, no going ahead and reading the other ones. You're going to do yours first, but then you can compare and see, how it works, and then you will fill out the second part of that worksheet. All right? And now I believe that is it for the week. I think we get into the next week. Let me know if you have any questions, because some of these instructions are quite complex, and please let me know if you want help finding your sources. I will have some office hours, some Zoom office hours that I will announce later on in the week, where we can get together and get on the McKay online library together and look for sources if you'd like. But please let me know if you want to schedule something ahead of time. All right? Have a great week. Bye-bye.